So I had to bring in a professional to run the equipment since I didn't know what I was doing. Ain't that right?
Maybe, just a little bit.
Well, that's not what you said yesterday.
Oh.
bit, and Dad's going to be joining me running the dump truck, so I'm really happy for him to be able to run that. But I do want to talk about a brand new bucket that I bought when I purchased Excavator, and I never had used it, so I decided today, why not just use it just to try it out. So let me show you what this is. So this is an extra wide bucket, kind of like a grading bucket. It has about a 1/2 inch lip on there, a pretty wide bucket. So as you can see my hand, so very wide bucket there. So we might get twice as more scoop out of it, but I know this is probably not the right application to use. But anyway, I decided just to use it, try it out, see what I like about it. So yeah, so I have it set up for Dad. Made it kind of easier so he can take the dump truck, drive around the dirt pile, and come back here to where we've been putting the dirt at. Now, I do want to point out that it's not a working RC. This is actually a toy brooder dozer, and I don't have any desire to turn it into a remote control vehicle, so I figured I'll just put it back here, let it sit back here, and just be a decorated item. Also got my little dividers here for the different types of soil and stuff like that. So I got the regular field dirt that I've been working with, that stardust or granite dust, and of course I'll put something else there. And over here, a couple little scale pipes and stuff like that. But yeah, so just a little bit of stuff here. And all right, so it is windy. I apologize. So let's get out. Well, what's going on, everyone? RC84 here, like always. Thanks for watching. So my friends, it's time to get back into what I call WOTS, working on the site. Back in 2021, I got into the RC construction vehicles, absolutely fell in love with it. Now, I don't have any hydraulic excavators or bulldozers or any stuff like Medic from RC Adventures has. That's crazy amounts of money right there. But anyway, I do have a few vehicles that do pretty good. They are electric. I have my Tanya excavator, which is running off of servo actuators, which are pretty actually strong. They do a really good job of digging into the ground and stuff like that. We are working today. All the construction vehicles. We got 2 excavators, 3 dump trucks, wheel loader, 2 dozers. And of course, we got some more up here. Well, what's going on, everyone? As you see, I am drenched in sweat. It is 91 degrees, but the humidity is, the heat index is like 107 degrees. And sweating my tail off. It's been like that for the last few days. We've been having heat visors from like 12 to 7, and it's been awfully hot. And I mean, look, as you can see the sweat on my face, you see the sweat dripping down my hair, you see it on my shirt. Now, what am I doing out here in such degrees? Well, with Jake and Jonathan joining me with the RC construction stuff, I wanted to expand the site, make it a little bit bigger, and that's my whole intention. And I actually was thinking about doing this last year, was expanding the site, because right now my current site is 10 by 7 feet wide, so that little area there. So I want to extend it out just a little bit more, get into the shade of the woods here, so that way we're kind of out of the sun and sitting there in the shade, so we can still run our vehicles and not really sweat or tail off. But today I'll show you what I got. I went and picked up a half a cubic yard of fill dirt. So this is the stuff right here. Now right now it's a little bit wet from all the rain we had. It does have a little bit of clay in it. You know, it is what it is. You know, it's just, you know, it's a little bit wet. But anyway, that's usually what happens to fill dirt when it gets wet and stuff like that. But anyway, so where am I going to put it at? Well, I'm definitely not going to be putting it right here right now. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand out on this area right here. So I'm going to kind of build it up, and we are going to use the construction vehicles for the whole process of this. It's going to take us a while, I do know that, but anyway, that's the whole fun of it. That's the whole reason of having construction vehicles, is that you can be able to build things and stuff like that, and give you a bigger view of it. But yeah, that's what, you know, like I said, that's the purpose of these vehicles, is that you're building stuff. And that's what I love about the RC construction vehicles, is that you can build stuff with these vehicles, not just running and moving dirt hills and stuff, or ant hills for some people, or making mud pies. But it is for, you know, building purposes. And we have a lot of fun doing this. Jake and Jonathan love it. But yeah, so I'm going to stand out the site. Now I'm not exactly sure how far. I'm maybe trying to maybe another 5 feet or so, expand it out a little bit more. Now my intentions here, as you can see, we do have a ledge right here now, because I had to build this up because I wanted to have it flush with, you know, kind of the backyard there. So I wanted to bring it up just a little bit, not super high, but it's going to be a little bit high down in this area. We've been kind of like surveying the land and figuring out what we're going to do. So I definitely want to build this up a little bit. Definitely, you know, I say around this area is going to be a little more thicker and stuff, but I do have that half a cubic yard of fill dirt, and I can always go back and get more if I need to. It's not a problem. The landscape place is maybe about 15 minutes down the road for me, so not a problem doing it, but it's just unloading it is a problem. And as you can see, the sky right now, I am trying to fight the rain and the heat and putting the stuff out because it's supposed to be a good day on Saturday to do some. They do have a chance of rain, but that's been every week. It's been 50% chance of rain, and it's been spotty here and there. So hopefully tomorrow, or hopefully Saturday, will hold off on us so we can get some of this dirt back here. Now I do have to put up some border lines here to keep that dirt in there so it doesn't wash down into the creek area. But that is the whole intention for what we're going to be doing here. So this is definitely going to be a long staking progress of doing this. Like I said, I bought a half a cubic feet or half a cubic yard of topsoil, and this is what I used to make the site there. And it took me a little over about 2.5 months, about 2 months actually, to move all that material where you see the fill dirt sitting at right now. I had to move all that from over here. But the reason why it took me so long is that it was just me and one dump truck. All right, so it's just myself and the dump truck, and of course my other vehicles I had. So I was running the excavator, the dump truck. So, but now I get Jake and Jonathan, who has 2 dump trucks, an excavator, and I have 3 dump trucks. Yeah, well, I actually have 2. One is a dump truck you can use, but I have 2 dump trucks. They have 2 dump trucks. And 2 excavators, 2 bulldozers. I mean, we got the equipment to move it faster and quicker. So that is going to be the plan. I do got the stone dust that I need to put out in the park. It's been sitting here for a while. That is the one thing that we were going to work on, but I was like, kind of want to really get the site thing put out and stuff like that. So that stone dust will have to wait for another day. But anyway, you probably hear in the background some thunder going on. We got some storms coming in, but it's in scattered areas. It's not just everywhere, but I'm trying to work it out before, at least try to get this stuff out and cover it up before the rain sets in. Hopefully I can do it. We'll see. But anyway, my friends, thank you for watching, and eventually I will get inside, cool off. I am drinking some Gatorade and stuff, staying hydrated. Definitely being here in the shade helps, and this breeze, oh my god, this breeze is so good right now. But anyway, you can see it kind of looks a little nasty back that way. But anyway, my friends, I'm gonna go ahead, quit doing this video, get my lazy butt to work. Well, not lazy, I mean, look at this. I am sweat from head to toe. I got sweat where sweat is not supposed to be at. But anyway, my friends, thank you very much for watching. Well, my friends, I actually end up hitting the stop button on the phone there. I don't really film off my phone too often, but my thumb was right next to the stop button there, so I stopped the film without saying properly goodbye and everything. But anyway, I hope that y'all continue watching and seeing the progress on the construction stuff and on building the what I like to call Site B now. I guess you want to call Site B, or extending the work site there. So yeah, all right, my friends, so enough of me yapping and chatting, because it is looking kind of bad. So I want to try to get this dirt out as quick as I possibly can. It is just me, as like always. But anyway, my friends, take care, and I will see y'all in another WOTS, which stands for working on the site. WOTS. All right, later, y'all. Carnage on the job site. Somebody doesn't know how to drive. Dirt all over the new front loader. You're fired. Carnage again. Second time, you're fired. Hey.
Oh, I can't do that on the video.
Well, my friends, I want to apologize for the lack of footage here. Wasn't a lot done today on footage-wise, but we did get a lot done on the site. Focused on a lot of different things. So I was busy. Jake and Jonathan and John came out too. We were all extremely busy doing the different tasks that we had set out to do today, and we got those tasks completed. What we wanted to get done, we wanted to move the rest of that screen topsoil that I got last week or so. Last week I got. We wanted to finish moving that. I also wanted to make a new entrance into the site. That's after I boarded up the main site, or the main entrance into the site there. I boarded it up. So wanted to make a new entrance and just do a few other things. So let me take the camera, show you guys. So we got all that filled dirt removed, flattened out. Looks great over there. We'll be putting another pile of dirt back there to transport again. But Jake, Jonathan, and John did a great job at getting all that dirt out, moving it and smoothing it down. Did a really good job on that part right there. And then we started working on that pile of filled dirt that I got just the other day from my buddy Ryan there, who hooked me up, and he hooked me up good on the dirt and some other stuff as well. The main entrance, got that done. So, you know, I put down a good bit of a couple loads of the topsoil down, filled dirt down there, and then went back with that stone dust, put on top of it. It looks great. It's pretty nice little entrance way. I'm actually thinking about making it a little bit wider. You know, it did work when we were taking the vehicles out and stuff. It did work, but I feel like that corner is just really kind of tight, and some of the vehicles don't have extreme turn radius on it, like a couple of the dump trucks, service trucks and stuff like that. Doesn't really have the turn radius to turn that sharp of a turn right there. So I'll probably will be moving down the post a little bit and just expanding it maybe another foot or so. I think that would give us a good enough room to get the vehicles in and out with no problems, especially if we're going to be having a truck and trailer come in here and stuff like that. You know, we definitely want to have it where, you can get in and out with no problems. But other than that, it was a beautiful, gorgeous day. As you see, this is how it was all day. Very, very nice, beautiful. I mean, look at the sunset. It's gorgeous. But yeah, so the site is looking good. Really, really digging the layout now with everything. It's just really cool, and we have a lot of fun doing this. And they're going to be back next week, next Saturday, to do some more. We're going to work on that. Also, we got another pile of fill dirt to work on as well. We got plans for the back here. We're just building it up right now. To show y'all. So we got a lot of that dirt moved back. Started on that fill dirt right there. Like I said, we got plans for this right here. Just taking time to build it up, and we're not doing anything with any like hand tools, shovels, rakes, or anything. We are doing this all with the construction vehicle. So it's going to take us some time to do all this stuff. But that is the part of it. That's the part of being in the construction stuff. You're building stuff. It's going to take some time to build it and lay out everything. But yeah. Well, what's going on, everyone? RC84 here. Like always, thanks for watching. First off, sorry about the popping sound there. Got the umbrella there. Come out here to take a look at it. Since you guys can see it's raining like crazy. It's been raining like this for like 2 days now, and it fooled me this morning. I thought it was great because it was sunny, bright, everything like that. I wanted to work on the site a little bit, try to do something about that water that's getting into the site there. So let me flip the camera and show you the backyard. All right, so here it goes. So you can see, I can't really point out, but anyway, you guys can see where the water does, what the water does when it rains very heavy. We get this little kind of ditch part kind of thing going down, traveling. And it comes down. So if you can see that, I'm not sure if you can see it. You can see where the rain is right there. Look at all that water that's rushing down. And it's going right there. Now it was just raining like very, very heavy a while ago. And water was just pouring over the side of the borderline there. You can actually see that piece of wood that got pushed away with the water there. So it's actually running down into the tube there, but it was overtopping, and you can see where it was running straight down in there. So now this is something that we tried to do before it was raining. We tried to, put that down in there. Just something, trying to do it. Dug out a little bit, and as you can see, it's a river down in here. There's a lot of water just in the few minutes that it just rained, and it's gone way down, flooding like crazy. Wind a little bit whipping around, but yeah. So back to the drawing plans on this. I can definitely see what needs to all be done. Oh, even water is just escaping, not inside of the little tunnel there, or the little drain there I have. It's actually pouring from underneath the wood there that I had to cover up that area so we could put dirt on top of it. Oh, yeah. So definitely need to make the trench, or do a bigger trench, or some way of position that water somewhere else. Now, I thought about maybe digging a ditch out going that way, but the thing is that we come up to this nasty root right here from one of the trees, either that tree or this tree right here. Not exactly sure. I'm thinking it's more or less to that one over there, because I can actually see the little root going down there. So trying to make a ditch right there will probably be impossible. Be one of the things where I'll have to probably, I don't know, maybe dig out a ditch, put a tunnel underneath it, let the water flow down that way. But who's to say that it will work or not? But this gives a general idea. This is why I wanted to come out here for, is to see when it's heavy rainstorm what really needs to be done. So it might be one of the things where that entrance part is just a bad idea or bad place for it, so we might need to move it somewhere else. I really liked it there because we park our vehicles right here and we unload our equipment and would drive onto the site there. So it might have to end up changing that up, doing something different. Doing what, I don't really know. But definitely probably do some concrete or something down the middle, down the side of the timber post there, and seeing what we can do with that. Maybe we can guide that water to go that way where it's been going. Yeah. You can dump out there in the out there onto the out there in the park. Most generally, the site here, definitely see some water flowing out right there, where it's coming off the tree, coming down. You can see. Might need to take some of this clay right here and just push right there in that dirt. But now I did a little trench over here Friday, and that's actually working. It's draining the water out of there. So it might be something where I have to get those pipes right here and put right there in the place of it. Maybe that'll help drain it. Looking back here on the new part, definitely seeing a trail of water coming down, going right under that timber post right there, and flooding out right there. Same thing over there. That's actually a lot better than it was before. We got a sinkhole. Got a little drain right there. It's running out that way. So I'm losing a lot of dirt out of here with the rain like that. So yeah, we got a crazy amount of water just flowing everywhere. Part of that hurricane that's out there in the coast that's making a racket out here for us. But yeah, I'm definitely losing some dirt. Oh, here. That side looks pretty good. Nothing, not really losing anything. So that was a good call for that. Hey. Yep. Back to the drawing plan. Site because I need a cart for another day of project that I'm doing. And so here's one of the things we worked on was our second ramp here. It got washed out during the rainstorm last week or so, and so we spent a good half a day, most of the day, working on this, building up a little bit and then putting down the dirt and the stone dust and building it up right. We also started on what we call Site D, our other little area that we're working on. We are starting on that. We did we get the timber wood down there, landscape post, and we started on building the road. We got some pea gravel down. That's going to be our base, which we also mixed it up with some concrete in there. There's sections of it that has concrete there, so this is kind of a way to get a base, a permanent base to help from water erosion, because this is kind of a lower area that we're building at, so water is going to flow down here and stuff. So we wanted to kind of try to do the best on controlling the water and washing out things. So there's concrete and this pea gravel down there, so that was really cool. And also over here in Site C, we got our dividers here for our material. We're going to put our pea gravel here, some of the stone dust there, and that one. Really haven't decided yet what we're going to put there. That might be an open area, but for any kind of material that we want to put there, it's going to be done there. Over here, we worked on getting this this part done right here. We actually put some concrete down, because one of the things that I've seen was water coming down here and it comes down and goes into the site there. So that's one thing we wanted to kind of control the water issue right there, so we did that. And yeah, so we got quite a bit done today. Just mostly that took up most of the day right there. Wasn't really planning on doing that, but it was something that needed to get done, and also it worked out. And it looks pretty good back here. At least I think so. Everything's coming together very well. And like I said, Ryan brought some tables, some plastic pallets there. So been a good day. So we got a lot of work. We've been planning out how we're gonna do the back portion and stuff like that. So a lot of things. Well, what's going on, everyone? RC84 here, like always. Thanks for watching. Well, my friends, really no footage of Watts WOTS working on the site other than this footage.
Oh my god, that's great.
So what's in that Mountain Dew can?
That's a secret.
That is the only thing that we did end up taking. I had all intentions of filming, but I left my memory card in the house there, and we just had so much going on that I did not get the memory card to film everything. So, but you know, I did take a couple pictures with the phone and stuff like that. Did a little bit of video, but not too much. So I am terribly sorry for that. But I do want to share what we've done today. We actually did a lot of work. Jake, Jonathan, Ryan came out. It was a great day, very cool, nice weather, nice fall weather. And so let me go ahead and flip the camera around and show you what we've done on this site. All right, so a lot has been done to the site. A few things that I worked on the previous last week there on Sunday. Ended up putting out some more of the timberwood landscape posts down, straightening up this side over here because it was kind of cut-eyed a little bit, so we fixed that. Also fixed the entrance, swapped the entrances, or the main entrance over to this side where it was on this side, and I had that water would come down and rush down, so we kind of fixed that. So we just flip-flopped, because over here where the main entrance is now is a lot higher, and it's not in the way of the water flowing. Also, what we did is that I lined up some concrete blocks and with some little bit of cement down below, and dug out a nice bigger, deeper ditch for that water to go through. The pallet is what we put the cooler on, so we have drinks and stuff like that for during the day, and that's where we put the cooler at, and have it where the water runs right underneath it, and that's really good. Also redid our pallets. Ryan brung some plastic pallets for us to sit on, instead of using the pallets that we did have, where you basically could fall through it if you were not steady enough or stable. You would fall through it. So he brought some nice plastic ones. I appreciate him for doing that. That really helped out. It actually raised up a lot, and you could be able to see more. But anyway, the site has taken a great deal of transformation over the year period that I've been doing the construction stuff. And when Jake and Jonathan and Ryan came up and got into this stuff, the site has just evolved so much. Like, this middle section was the original area of my site that I built, and then somehow or another it turned to this, then back there, right there where our finger's pointing, and then it's going back there. We have a lot more plans going further back, but anyway, so we're still working on some dirt from last week there. That's something I wanted to get rid of, some old dirt. Really want to get rid of that. So we're working on that. I had Ryan today work on the stone dust. You can see actually the pile of stone dust there. I had him transport it over to what we call Site C. We actually have everything in sections or numbers. So the front part is site A, the middle part is site B, and then we have site C, which is right there, and then we have site D. That way, when we're talking about the site on the phone and stuff like that, we'd be like, hey, over on site B, there's such and such and stuff like that. So it's just a lot easier to just talk about the site, other than saying, hey, we're right there in the middle section by the left side. I can just say site B over on the left side, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, I know. All right, so anyway, we did get some of the materials down here. We got some of the fill dirt, stone dust, and we got our pebbles, our river pebbles that we've been using. Excuse me. And what we're using the pebbles for is a solid base underneath the road here. And this is actually what we accomplished today, was working on that road. And so we decided to put a nice base of concrete down. We actually we got about 10 bags of concrete lined up down this down the road part, and then we took that pea gravel and dumped on top of the cement there, and that way it gives us a good solid base, because I know that water is kind of like rush down here, or so water's going to come down because this is the lower spot of the site there. So we put the concrete down with the pea gravel there, and then we put the fill dirt and then the stone dust on top. So it's going to give us a good solid base road. And we're learning more and more as we do this on how to make our roads stronger and better and all. Also put down the timber wood, more timber wood down the side, as you can see all that. But it's looking really, really good back here. It's amazed. I'm truly amazed on just the transformation this park has made. But yeah, so site C is where our material's at. Instead of fill dirt, stone dust, and the pebbles. Excuse me. And over here in site D, this is the loading area for all our materials. So our front loaders will come in there, swoop up the pebbles, the stone dust, the fill dirt, and we can have our dump trucks sitting on the edge of here and load it off, load it from there, so it's a lot easier. And then the dump trucks can go out and dump this load. But anyway, this looks really good. Very solid base, and I'm loving the timber wood, the landscape posts, if you want to call them. I really like the look that it's giving the site. It's making it look a lot like a natural construction site and stuff like that. And just looks really good. If you stand back here, let's sit down, you can see just how crazy this thing looks. It's very cool. And all this, everything from site A, B, C, and D has been built with the construction vehicles only. We hadn't really used any hand tool or anything like that. Maybe in a few areas we used a few things to get like the metal post down and stuff like that, and level out stuff, that kind of stuff. But majority, everything, all the dirt and everything has been brought in with the construction vehicles. And these are vehicles that are mid-grade to low-grade RCs. We're talking like RC construction vehicles from Amazon and stuff like that. We're using those, and it's truly amazing that those vehicles are not a lot at all. Probably the most expensive ones we have is the excavators, the front loaders. Those are the two most expensive ones. Excavator is at a price of $500. The front loader is at a price of $300. And then the rest of the equipment we have is 20 grade RCs, but you can see, and if you've been watching the videos, you've been seeing what these vehicles are doing. And it's just, trying to think of a way to say it, is that you know, if you're looking to be in the RC construction equipment, or you want to get into RC construction vehicles, you don't have to go out and buy the $5,000, $10, you know, $10,000 construction vehicles, hydraulic and all that. You know, you can do it with mid to low grade RCs and still build something like this. And it's great that you can do it. So it just shows you, and with my videos, you know, like I said, it shows you that you can be in this hobby, in the side of the RC hobby, without have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on the really fancy hydraulic stuff and all that. So you don't have to do all that. You don't have to buy all that. The low grade stuff will work just as good as the, you know, hydraulics, you know, the higher grade stuff. Of course, you know, higher grades, you know, means a lot more features and stuff, a lot more, you know, capabilities and stuff like that. But still, the mid to low grade stuff is doing perfectly fine for us. We're moving heavy loads of dirt and stones and a lot of things. So yeah, so I just wanted to let you know that, you know, you can be in the RC construction vehicles and not have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to do this. But in my videos, all the Watts videos show you that. All the construction videos I've done shows you the vehicles and what they are doing and stuff like that. And so for all this being built just by using those construction vehicles is truly amazing. And yeah, it's just such great. We're getting late. All the lights on the vehicles. Excavators, dump trucks, crane trucks, front loaders, 18 and we got our road roller over there blinking. Too cool. temporary bridge for right now, just to get the vehicles over. And then we got a secondary bridge for us to walk over because this one is not fully braced up yet. It's not strong enough for us to physically walk across right now. So that's just temporarily. But it is turning out to be pretty good. You need semi-dumps. Being such a long drive. When's the project complete date? Dennis, yeah, we do. We're working on a few things. Project date, not exactly sure. We have a lot to fill in. Everywhere you see the cone and another cone, we have to fill in this entire area with dirt there. But I don't know how the quality of the picture looking right now. I know moving around, it kind of messes up with the picture. But anyway, yeah, it's dark past this area. That's all woods and creek. But that is the site. Next summer sometime, if you keep whipping it. Yeah, really. But yeah, so this is the site, what it looks like at night. Lights, we got to get some more out here. Frame it back here. build the surface up more. We've heard not to have it built up, but we have to do what we have to do. So we've been dumping rocks and fill dirt into the area to build up the pathway. We've got it going pretty well right now. We've got the footprints in there. But this is the area here. You see it's very kind of muddy right now because of water. But not too bad. It's coming out pretty good. It's a wide area that we're doing. And we're going to make this road go over there, come down the side over there. We did try to put some concrete over here because we noticed that the water is actually trailing in here, and then it would go out, so you can actually see it running a little bit. So we decided to put some concrete there. Maybe that would help it, but for the most part, I think this is really groundwater, because this is a low part of the site and stuff. So yeah. So we're trying to fill it in and everything. So until the beaver issue is fixed back here, when's that going to happen? Not really sure. We've been dealing with this for 2 years now, and I'm really tired of it. I'm really tired of this whole thing, the whole beaver incident. It always gets me depressed because I'm like, why out of all the creeks, all the swamps, everything like that, why they had to build right behind my backyard, causing flooding in spots of my backyard. But we're going to continue on the site, try to do our best. We can surely expand another place, make it bigger. We're just trying to deal with the issue as best as we can and do what we can. But yeah, so back to the road and stuff. So Jake and Jonathan's been working on this area over here. I started working on the road going around here. You see that road right there. I started putting down some stone dust. Stone dust, you don't know what that is. It's kind of like really fine grade stone, chopped up stone and stuff, grinded up stone. And when you put it down, it actually turns to a hard surface. The water gets to it, and then it will make it rocks hard, very hard. And this is actually what we've done the whole park in, or the whole site in, especially our 40-foot road here, is in stone dust, and that really packs down and makes a hard surface. So we put some of that on there, and hopefully that's going to absorb that moisture out of the fill dirt and just make it a hard packed surface. That's the plan. So I started doing that late afternoon there, right around about getting dark time. I started putting that out, and I got about right here is where I kind of stopped at because we ran out of time. Plan on doing the rest of the roads and the stone dust. I have a whole heap and a bunch of that stuff. Just had to put it out. But there you go, my friends. So enjoyed the footage that I do have. Didn't have a whole heap a lot of it. Just didn't film the whole thing. But anyway, it's been great. So we got a lot of clay bombs, and then where Jake was digging at, I started digging. You can see my little hole right there. He's got a great big hole. So yeah. But anyway, the site's always looking good. More improvements every week with it. So there you go. Hope you all enjoy this video. If you do, hit the thumbs up, like button, comment down below if you have any questions, or just want to say, hey, nice, looks good. I really appreciate it. All right, my friends. So take care.
Can't find good help without effing up the machinery. Somebody can't hold their load.
Well, what is going on, everyone? RC84 here, like always. Thanks for watching. Well, my friends, it's a beautiful day here in Southeast North Carolina, and I'm out here at my construction site. Wanted to do some construction. Like I said, I've been talking about getting back into the RC construction stuff because it's a lot of fun. I had a great time being out here building the site and stuff. It was a lot of fun, and so I've been wanting to get back into it, like I said. And I really hadn't messed with any of my RC construction vehicles in quite a while, other than the front loader. I did run the front loader there when we had that snow. I got out there with the snowplow blade and cleaned off the front porch and the sidewalk there with that, and that was fun. That's the only thing that I really have messed with as far as construction wise goes. I've been testing out some of the vehicles and making sure that they work and stuff, but I wanted to get out here and just kind of test my excavator skills again. You know, I have the Heuina 583 or 580 excavator there, which is an all-electric version. It runs off of servo actuators. It's pretty, you know, it's an okay vehicle for what it is and for the price I paid for it. It does all right. Is it outdated? Yes, it's outdated. Like everything that I own is outdated, even myself. But anyway, so my friends, I got the excavator and a dump truck out. I'm going to be trying to scoop up some stuff and just kind of get, you know, my excavator skills back. You know, I run one for work as I do plumbing, so sometimes we had to go into our slabs there and dig the trenches. So I run one, but you know, RC is a little, you know, different. Every machinery is actually different. Every machinery runs different and stuff like that. So you know, that year that I was doing the construction stuff here, building the site, I became really good with using that excavator and digging and stuff like that. So I hadn't messed with it in a while, so it's gonna I have to get kind of, you know, used to running it again. So I'm gonna take y'all on for that journey, see if I can remember everything and stuff. Now the site is in a bit of a heap, right? So some of this ground is going to be very compact and hard and stuff like that, so I have to remember the machine can only do so much. All right, with it being so packed and stuff like that, this excavator is running with, you know, servo actuators, so it's not going to have an amazing amount of digging force in it. So yeah, sorry about the dogs, but anyway, my friends, let's go ahead and get into this. All right, so we got the excavator on. Dump truck's ready to go. So I'm going to be digging into what this stuff is called stone dust. It's like chipped up rocks and stuff like that. Just going to practice a little bit, but I know this is going to be pretty hard packed surface here. So once I can rake that surface, it should be fairly easy to dig. I'm going to dump it into my dump truck. This is the WL dump truck. I can't remember. I think it's a 15 something. Some kind of serious name. I'll link it down in the description of the model. So Heuina 15580 and the WPL or WL, I'll put that in it. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get this started. What's going on, everyone? RC84 here, like always. Thanks for watching. So, my friends, back here at my RC construction site here, been doing some little work on it. I've been working a lot on this site here because I really just want to go ham this year on the site and projects around the place and stuff like that. But like I said, I've been doing some work. I came out here last week and I started working on the dumping stations there where I have my little sections of where I have my material at. I had to replace the some of the boards and stuff like that. Actually, let me flip the camera around and show y'all. It'd be a lot better. So, as I said, my dump area over here. This is where I would store like all of my materials, like the stone dust, filled dirt, rocks, and stuff like that. And so I had to redo this area because my baseboard down there rotted out. It's kind of hard to see it all during the peak of the sunset coming down. But anyway, so I had to replace the baseboards there. I cleaned all this out, raked up in a nice big pile so that way we can get one of the either the excavator or the front loader in here to get this out of here, kind of clean up that stuff. So and also up here, redid this area right here, put down some new dirt, and fixed a couple things like the post here. I wanted to get this leveled, but I couldn't get it actually 100% level because the terrain. This is the high spot and this is the low spot and stuff like that. When we were building the site, I didn't really take in consider of all that stuff right there. We're just kind of like going with it and stuff like that. But so we got a high spot and a low spot over here. And it's just how the terrain of my yard is. It's, you guys can see, you got woods over there, and then you got creek over here, the jungle. Then you got this spot right here. So my backyard is just like crazy in different terrain, which is good that I have different type of terrain to experiment with. But I'm kind of like in a valley little area right here and stuff like that. So yeah, high end, low end. So I like I said, I was trying to level this out, and if I was going to actually fully level it out, I would have to bring this in like all the way up here. I mean, literally way up in the air. And I was like, nah, that's just gonna take way too much dirt to kind of flatten this thing out and stuff like that. I'm just gonna have to deal with this. But yeah, so got all that fixed up and stuff. Still not really kind of done with it yet. It's partially done. New dirt's been laid down and stuff like that, but it looks pretty good. Now over here, I did a new entry part right there. So I'm gonna have a little office building sitting over here in front of the tree. We got our way to come in, so you'll come in, you'll check in before you go into the quarry site here, drive your truck through, and then you get your materials and stuff like that. Our loading facility, which as you see, got the front loader and the dump truck over there waiting to do some work. But anyway, site's looking good. Like I said, just been cleaning it up. Got some repairs here. We got some road repair to make, washout area. Coming back here to the future town, it's looking great. The stone dust is really packed down really hard. So we're getting ready for doing concrete, and we're gonna put some concrete down here. That's how we're gonna do it. And so yeah. So that's what's been going on here. Actually, last week when I went to get the concrete for it, I got 10 bags of 50-pound bags of concrete. All right, 10 bags, 50 pounds. All right, and I got into the store, go into Lowe's there, loaded up on the cart thing, paid for it, take it out to the truck, started loading it. By the 7th bag, I twisted the wrong way, and I was like, oh, back. The 40-year-old pains are stepping in there.
So I was pretty much out the next day, and for the rest of the day I was kind of like recovering a little bit, but you know, it is what it is. But anyway, my friends, so today what I'm going to be doing is doing a little bit of some work up here at the front with the front loader and the Volvo dump truck there. I'm going to scoop up some stuff and get into it. All right, well, let's get to it. Well, my friends, we finished up for today. I want to thank Robert from NCXRC for coming out and my dad for helping out on the project here. We've done a few things on the site. So one of the things was, you know, filled in that area there that the mulch was there before. I worked on that the day before. They came in here, put in some new fill dirt, leveled it out, packed it down with the roller there. Did a great job and all that. Now come back here. We worked on our little pit area, so we actually had to do some digging out to fit the concrete blocks in there, and we did that with the excavator and a little bit of the front loader there. I did not film that because actually my battery's about dying on my camera here, but we dug out the sides here. It took a little bit of time to do, facing with the roots and stuff like that, but we got our concrete blocks in there, so that way the dump trucks can pull up right here, and the front loader can go up there and grab the material and dump it over into the truck there and take off. We didn't get to work on that pile of dirt yet, but we got a small pile right there, and we took all that stuff back here, and we'll bulldoze that later on. But anyway, my friends, thanks for watching. I hope that y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that hit that thumbs like button. But anyway, my friends, we call it for a day. Get inside, relax, and see y'all later.
My friends, update on the site here. So me, Robert, and my dad did get out here and work on the site, but we did not film anything because we were focusing on our main task for today, and that was to finish up a 4-foot section of this pathway here that we started to go into the town, which is going to be the roundabout right there. So we fixed out this one washout area we had right there. Again, for the machinery. And then up here at the main entrance, we did do some concrete. Now, this is something that I am going to do on all of my access ramps. Since I have an issue with washouts, especially over here, I'm going to be doing that, and that will help fix those washout areas. Just having a permanent cement surface there, so that way I don't have to worry about washouts and stuff like that. And it also give traction to some of the machinery there, so they can get up the hills and stuff like that. What is going on, everyone? RC84 here, like always. Thanks for watching. So my friends, got a little project to do here on the site. Gonna move a pile of dirt over here on the entrance. We redid the entranceway right here of the concrete because I didn't really like how I laid it out the first time. It had like a big, drop off. So I wanted to redo that, and we actually did. So and there's the bits and pieces of it there. So yeah, like I said, redid it and gave it a more slant to it, so it's not a drop off. If you've seen the review video for the new dump truck there, you can see like one of the wheels are hanging off and then dropped off. So I redid that, and so we got this nice big pile of dirt. What is going on, everyone? RC84 here, like always. Thanks for watching. Well, my friends, it's a hot one here in the southeastern North Carolina right now. We're probably around in the 90s or so, and it's going to get hotter next week. So yeah, but it's increasing. But anyway, so I'm out here on the site doing some prepping for a new addition to the site here. Something that I would want to do. A lot of things I want to do on here on the site to try to build the infrastructure of the site to make it better and stuff like that, and fix some issues that I really didn't see when I was first initially building this thing 3 years ago. So yeah. So anyway, so one of my things is that we had this thing as a loop. So like you can go up, around, down, both ways. All right. So you see both of those things there and there. So we had it where you can go either way down to the rest of the site here. The only problem with going here, right where I'm pointing at, okay, is that there's a massive tree root right there. And we have our timber posts right there for the dump pit area. And sometimes we want to take the trucks there because somebody's traveling down this road right here. Now I have expanded the road a little bit to 24 inches wide, and that way it'll be a 2-lane road, so nobody really get congested there. But anyway, back to here. So we didn't really have any type of road system there. It just kind of went, you kind of went down and over, and sometimes you would risk rolling the dump truck over because of being on some type of slant hill on the tree root kind of deal, something like that, if I'm making any sense. But anyway, being okay, pre-staging, I guess you want to say. Eventually I'm going to tear it all back down and do everything with the machinery, but like I said earlier, I needed to see a visual so I know what I need to do and stuff like that. And I know you really can't do that in real life. You got architects and what's the other words I'm looking for, surveyors and all that stuff. You got engineers can has that vision mentally to see it and stuff like that. But for me, I don't, and this is just RC, so no real life things here. But anyway,
So my friends, back here in the site, we are starting phase 2 of the site. And you're probably saying, what happened to phase 1? Phase 1 is still a project. It's a project that's getting a little delayed because of flooding back there from the beavers. So we'll eventually get back on that project. But back in August 9th, my buddy Russ came down. And so we decided to go ahead and start phase 2. That way he has something to do since he drove all the way down here to run with us. So we started phase 2. So let me go ahead and show you phase 2. So this is phase 2, and this is going to be another town portion. It's going to have a lot more buildings and stuff like that. It's all in the planning process right now. Everything right now is just like kind of a rough draft of how I want it to go and stuff. I'm still planning, nothing in concrete yet. But one of the things that we worked on today, and we did not use the machinery for this. We actually had to do this by hand because this is something that we just could not do with the machinery, is that we need to have a bridge going into the new town, phase 2.